not a lot of people think about it because it's nothing sexy. It's not sexy at all to have a word of mouth marketing strategy. It's sexier if you have a viral FB campaign or viral this, whatever, right? It's sexier to have that. It's more in, it's more hip. Hey guys, welcome back to the Leadership Stack Podcast, the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs to increase your leadership, teamwork, and profits. This is your host, Sean C., aka Mr. CEO at 22. Erika asks, what are essential marketing strategies for a small business? When you say essential, meaning the necessities lang, I think like for a small business, the most important thing is going to be cash flow. Because when you say small, usually that's the problem, the cash. Because like if we look at businesses that have huge investors and huge capital from the investors, we could see that they're literally from 1 to 50 people in a few days or in a few weeks. Ganun sila kabilis. And so they don't stay small for like a year if you have big capital or big backing or big investors. But if you're a small business, usually you're bootstrapped, you have your own capital, you're burning your own cash, so you're very careful with the burn rate and you're very careful with hiring, you're juggling all of these things that would help keep you run the business in a smart or wise way, that you're not overspending in any of the areas and you're keeping it lean. So marketing kasi is like one of the things that a lot of business owners don't think too much about. I find it that it's pretty much the last thing that they think of, the marketing side. In fact, when I was starting out, my dad said that my business SEO, because he didn't want me to be a businessman. He wanted me to climb the corporate ladder, which I find it ironic because he's a businessman, but he has his own story. Sinabi niya na, that's all he could do. He didn't graduate college, and he only knows how to trade hardware. That's it. So he has his own story. He has his own reasons why he doesn't want me to do business, and that's because of his belief that there's no way I can pay the right taxes and still make money. Because in the hardware business, literally, like you sell one box of nails and you don't make a lot of money from that. You make like, I don't know, 30 pesos or 50 pesos. It's not a lot. And then the tax is 12%. So literally, the tax is way bigger than your profit because your profit is like 2% or like 3%, something like that. So how indeed are you going to make money from that kind of business? And my dad wanted me to be an honest businessman with my taxes. So he wanted me to climb the corporate ladder. He thought that marketing and SEO was not a necessity. He thought it was a luxury. And a lot of people still think that way. A lot of people think that marketing, actually, that's, we don't need that so much. As long as we have inventory and we have salespeople, okay na yun. But one of the most important things actually is marketing. Because when you have something good going for you, marketing will be the bringer of momentum. And you need momentum because momentum makes you look better than you really are. And if you're a small business, you need to look better than you really are. But some people also overdo it. They overspend on advertising. Advertising is a facet of marketing. One of the ways to do marketing is advertising. But I would say like essential marketing would be word of mouth strategies because it's free. It's the best form of marketing. It's the most authentic form of marketing because people will share who you are and your story and your product and service with other people only if they really believe in it and only if they really have a positive experience with it. So not a lot of people think about that. Na I need to have like a word of mouth strategy. Like one of the best restaurants that I find does this. Not that's in a strange place, meaning they're not super popular, but they're also not. Yeah, they don't have like super few brands. At one of the restaurants that I love doing this is Yabu, because when I went to Yabu and had to wait for like 45 minutes for my food, and I didn't complain. Like I didn't complain because I'm used to waiting naman eh. I don't mind waiting unless I have a meeting or may nahabol ako. But during that time, I was just winding down. Meetings are done. This was a long time ago. And I waited 45 minutes for my food. I was with my wife, Apple, and she was also very patient. We didn't complain at all. And what they did out of the blue is just tell us, so sorry, your food is served late. We're so sorry. And you can have this. And it's free. And I'm like, I didn't even tell you that it's taking too long. I didn't even follow up on the order. They just knew that it took a while. Or I don't know, maybe the waiter forgot about us and then nahiya siya. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. But what I do know is I didn't say a word to them. And I told them, no, I want to pay for it. Because, like, if one of you guys are going to pay for it, I'd feel bad. So I even said that I want to pay for the food because I don't mind waiting. But they insisted for me not to pay for it and said, none of us here are going to pay for it. It's on the goodwill of the company, which is amazing because they empower their people to be able to make decisions like that. And I'm talking about it right now in the podcast, right? That's word of mouth marketing. And it didn't cost them a lot. Cost them, I don't know, how much is it to make like one chicken katsu for them? Maybe like 200 pesos. So 200 for me, 200 for my wife. And now you guys are hearing it in the podcast. And now it's going to be in the podcast forever when we turn this into a Spotify episode. So the problem is not a lot of people think about that we have to have a word of mouth strategy. With SEO Hacker, if you're wondering how we did it, is we always go the extra mile. We give a lot of free stuff to our clients. We do a lot of heavy lifting and we don't ask clients to pay anymore. So that goes a long way. A lot of my clients have referred and recommended me to sister companies or to other companies that also close the deal. I have a lot of those stories, and I'm most happy about those stories because I got to close the deal, and my cost for acquiring that client is zero. So it's amazing, and yet not a lot of people think about that. So I think that is an essential strategy. It doesn't take a lot, but not a lot of people think about it because it's nothing sexy. It's not sexy at all to have a word of mouth marketing strategy. It's sexier if you have a viral FB campaign or viral this, whatever, right? It's sexier to have that. It's more in, it's more hip. But if I'm going to choose, it's always going to be word of mouth. Always, hands down. And that's from my more than a decade of experience doing digital marketing. It's not even digital, it's word of mouth. It works really well. So, yeah. How about you, Jam? What do you think? What's your answer to this question?
Yeah, I really agree with you, Sean. I think with Erica's question, it's so important, especially for small businesses, to start small and simple. So ask yourself, what do I have right now that won't take you to, alam mo yun, yung maglalabas ka ng money, di ba? Kasi you're still starting. So what is that one thing that you can do that won't take too much financial effort, right? And it's really word of mouth. And with word of mouth, kasi I like what you said, that it's authentic. And just to give you an example, right now I'm doing coaching and nagugulat na lang ako that there will be some people who will text me, JM, I want to refer this person to you and refer this person to ganyan ganyan. So it's really important that you give value to what you do. And I think word of mouth and the right and essential marketing will follow. So it's so important to focus first on what you can give to the people around you or the market that you want to reach. And then from there, I'm sure just like what you said, Yabu, 'di ba, Sean? Nagutom tuloy ako doon. Naalala ko si Yabu. So it will stick eh. It will stick talaga to your memory and parang wala kang magagawa but to share that experience because you were able to really find value in how they served you. So be unforgettable and people will just free marketing yun eh, di ba? People will just share about you. So that's our encouragement for you, Erica.
There's a question from Erika. Should I hire people to market my business, even if I can do it myself? For me, the only factor to answer this question is, how much do you pay yourself? So if you pay yourself a big amount, is it mostly to market your business? Or is it to do all of the other things that you have to do that only you can do? So to give you an example, I market very well. That's one of my giftings. I'm a digital marketer by trade. I've been doing it for over a decade, more than 20,000 hours, easily more than 30,000 hours of practice spent in digital marketing as a whole. So that's actually a big practice that I've been diving into, all the way from automation, programmatic marketing, email marketing, behavioral email marketing. It's not just SEO that I know. I've dabbled in a lot of things and mastered a lot of them. But if I ask myself, should I be the one doing the marketing per se, I might give you a different answer and say, I would actually hire people to do it. And that's because I have to do the things that only I can do. That's developing people, leading them, that's helping them to succeed. As CEO, that should have a bigger slice of the pie of my time because the company is paying me to do that, not just to be a marketer. So in that case, I would just decide to hire people who can do the work maybe 80% as well as I could, and delegate it to them, teach them the ropes, and then nakatipid ako. Kasi instead of it being me paying myself a big amount of salary, for example, and I'm doing the marketing work when I should be paid that salary by doing CEO work, then it doesn't make sense anymore if I do the marketing work myself.
Be who you are uniquely in the present moment now, and don't wait to be something till later. Be it now, and then let it grow.